essentially doing here is building a column, but a column is also a lead. Now, can anybody here tell me what a lead is in masonry? When I say I'm building the lead, what am I doing? You say that again? The start? Yeah, it's kind of the start. It's also like our benchmark for the entire wall. So I'm going to build this up. I hate the fact that I'm showing myself right now. This column is going to act as our lead for this entire wall. So what we're really doing right now is building an extremely important part of this structure. You see, if we can do this without getting hurt. Also don't want to film myself hurting myself. Okay. Now, as you can see, like I went over before, I'm handling this mortar very differently than I do with brick. What do you guys see that's different than brick? What am I doing right now that's different than how I was doing the brick? Yeah, it's not as fluffy. It's very good. Also, notice how I kind of scoop it up and I kind of pancake it down on the trowel. Gets it to stick to the trowel a lot better. It's actually great mortar, you guys.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to do one spread that is going to be similar to brick because it's through the middle. Now, I'm going to use one of these newer blocks, assuming these might be a little bit lighter. Maybe less chance of me injuring myself again. So we're building a lead. The very first thing we check before we make any other corrections, and this is what you put in your notes, right? I have a checklist. You're building a lead. Is the course height. I just stack bonded this, didn't I? Yep, you guys are right. That's called a stack bond. I blame that on filming myself. All right, so course height, step one. Why is course height important? Anybody tell me, why would horse height? Why would that also be important? Why is course height important? It's even, but what's depending on this? Again, we're calling this a lead. How's this going to affect the rest of the wall? Exactly. Did you guys hear Mackenzie? That's it in a nutshell. If this is off, this entire thing is going to be off. So this is imperative. This is why the higher paid guys do this. When you first start out, most crews won't let you get anywhere near this. We're going to learn this in the lab though. So this is something you'll have a leg up on other people on. Now, how tall is a block? How tall is a block? 7 5/8. What's the modular height? What's the nominal height? 8. Exactly. What's nominal height? Exactly. It's the block plus the mortar joint. The block is 7 5/8. Mortar joint is 3/8. And right now, you guys can't really see this. I got to clean this mortar out of the way so I get a good reading. I'm exactly at 8 inches. So this is right where we want to be. Generally, there'd be probably some adjustment you got to do, but when you've been doing this for 20 years, you tend to get it on the first try. So, second step, our first step is getting the course height, getting the height right. Second step, we have to plumb this now. Now we're going to check our vertical, our plumb. So I'm going to quickly check this corner, check this corner. This needs to come out just a little bit, make a little adjustment. That's plumb. That's plumb. And believe it or not, this order of operations is actually in the Module 6 test. But I don't really care about the module tests. I want you guys to be able to do this in the lab. So this is the step-by-step process. Now, we checked our height, we checked our plumb. Now I'm going to check my level. Level's good. Generally with block, if you're plumb, then your level's going to be good. Especially if you're plumb this way and you're plumb this way. You want to always check this side and check this side. And double checking the backs. I'm really being extra perfect on this corner. I'm allowing a little bit of error back here because the blocks are a little imperfect, but I'm allowing all those imperfections to be on the back side. All right. So it's plumb. What I would do now, if I was going down the wall, is I would set my string at this height and I would go down the wall. But for right now, we're building this column. Oops. I'm going to butter these up. Get another block. Now, second block is in place. Do I need to check the height of this tape measure, or do you think I can just level from this one? Just level, right? That's pretty good. A little bit high. Now, anytime you're going to check your plumb, I forgot to mention this, you want to scrape this mortar off. When you take this mortar off, do I want this mortar to fall on the ground, or do I want to catch it with this trowel? Exactly. Looks like this needs to come in just a touch. Look how this wall is getting away from this. This wall is probably out of plumb, and these blocks aren't quite level. Like I said, this was built by last year's juniors at the end of the school year. Down just a touch. Now the other benefit of scraping this bed off is I get a lot of feedback in this trowel. I can feel what this block is doing. If there's a little ridge here, then I know this needs to come down. If there's a ridge on the bottom, if this block is out past this one, then this side needs to come down. This side needs to come up a little bit. So sometimes I'll hold it, bring this side down. And we'll make corrections from there. Now, check it one more time, because again, this is a lead. It's got to be right. That's good. That's good. I'll check this corner now. That's a little off, but I think this thing's out of square down below. I'm going to check myself this way too, with the rest of the wall. Check this out. All right. I think that's pretty good. I don't want to make too many more adjustments, because for the sake of this column, I think it's close enough. And it looks like this outside edge should actually come down just a little bit. All right, so Oliver, Pascal, since you guys are suited up, one of you guys want to jump in, do the next course. I'm going to put the bed down for you, but you guys have your work clothes on. You have gloves, got your safety glasses. All right. Now, once again, I'm going to put the spread down. See, this column's almost done. Once this column's finished, the next thing I want to do is actually lay these solid 4-inch blocks so that we have our brick ledge ready to go, so we can switch back to doing our brick lab. This is actually going to be a brick lab, but I wanted to go over building a lead and building a column. They're essentially one and the same. If you're building a column, you're building a lead, a 4-sided lead. Gloves, hard hat, or not hard hat, glasses. Yeah, glasses too. I'm going to give you guys a little extra on these beds. Just, all right, so go ahead and grab a block from that cube. Those are newer. The jam blocks with the smooth edges. Perfect. Now, Pascal, let you do your block first. Now, look which way this mortar bed's going. This is where I make it when I stack bonded it. So this time, make sure you get it alternating. So follow the shape of this bed. Now, when you set this block down, look down the line in this corner kind of as you do it. Very gently set the block, but don't press it down yet. Just kind of let the blocks wait and sit on top of this bed. Very gently, okay. Very gently want to put that down. Now you see every time you move it, see how the mortar's kind of coming out all the way around? You might be getting very close right now. You might be pressing to your 3/8. You kind of have a countdown. You can only make adjustments down to about 3/8. Once you go past that, you're going to have to pick it up and do it again. So now take that mortar, try to keep it on your trowel. I would toss it back there. It looks like we got some feedback right there. Did you guys see how that mortar was clip hanging right here? That was feedback because this is sticking out over this edge, and that shows us that this has to go straight back just a little bit. Just one of those eyeball adjustments. But now we got the block set. I'd say this is pretty much ready for the first step. What's the first step now? Course height. So we got to grab what? We got to find a clean spot to measure the height from the last block to the top of this block. So don't let this mortar mess up your tape measurements. So make sure you're measuring. You may have to clean off the spot and just take your finger and make a little clean spot on that mortar. Sometimes on regular leads, you have a little bit more block. You can get feedback off both ways. Because this is a column, there's more mortar on more surfaces, so it's kind of blocking your clean off the spot. So how close are you to 8 inches? Are you right on or a little short, a little high? You're right on. So yeah, you stopped at the perfect time. Maybe check this end real quick. Clean off a little spot there. Just make sure you're touching that block down below. It's not sitting on the mortar. Good? So you're good. All right, what's the second step? Check the plumb. Very good. So go ahead, take the level. Now plumb. Is that vertical or horizontal? Vertical. It confuses me too, vertical versus horizontal. I don't know why. It's like 6 in one, 7 in the other. I don't know. It's looking good. It looks really straight. It is this way a little bit. See how the bubble's touching that line? So let's actually check the front edge and see what that side's doing real quick. And remember, if it's the lead, it's going to affect the rest of the entire wall. So this has to be, this is the one area where we really take our time and make sure that we are as close to masonry perfect as we can be. Masonry perfect is within a 16th of an inch. That's dead on right there. You can see how these blocks are a little off, but then we kind of bring it back. Now look at this. See how this block is just kind of touching? Okay, so this is what I'll do. So I'll hold this, I'll pull this back until the bubble is right in the middle. Now I can see exactly what this block needs to do. So true plumb is right there. Now we may be coming off a weird block. I'm going to bring this out just a touch. Now see how it's touching at the bottom but not the top? The way to fix that, we want this to go straight down. Where's that my trowel? So hold this back edge. Don't lift it, just hold the weight. But you're not going to lift it off that bed. I'm going to tap this down, but I don't want the back to sink also. I want this to stay right where it is. And I'm going to tap this outside. That's probably it. Clean it back off. I'm going to take another measurement. Get another reading. That's pretty good. It's still not perfect, but it's pretty good. Set the floor is flat on level. That all throws this off. Now this one we got a similar situation. It's touching at the bottom, but not at the top. However, when I bring the level to it, it's like perfectly plumb. So I'm actually just going to bring this block in just a touch. Just so the mortar's not messing it up. That's pretty darn close. I think getting any closer than that is getting a little bit too tedious for blockwork masonry. We're getting further. This is coming up. Another way to check your block is to measure multiple courses at once. So we'll check each course as we're going, but you actually get a more accurate measurement now when you start measuring the entire thing. So when you're building a lead, you want to see where your lead is sitting. It's very easy if you're only measuring from one block to the next, from that block to the next, to kind of lose track of where you are. So the next thing I want you to put in your notes is to measure multiple courses when checking your measurements. So right here, if I measure this entire column, we're actually 1/4 of an inch low. So we should be right at 40 inches. We're actually at 39 3/4. Yeah. Step 1, measure the height. Step 2 is check your plumb. Step 3 is check your level. Step 3 is check your level for the top. What's the last thing we need to do this now? Now we finished the blocks, we scraped the beds off, but this isn't quite done yet. Let's say this is a finished product. What do I need to do to finish this masonry? You got it, raise your hand. Strike the joints. You got it though, you were doing the hand motion. We gotta get a striking iron. We gotta strike the joints. One of you guys wanna do that real quick? Let's get the striking iron. It's in the toolbox on the left side. Do you have a striking iron? Oh, you have a barrel joiner right here. Thank you. Perfect. Jose, right on command. So this is called a barrel joiner. This isn't really like my favorite kind of striking iron. A lot of masons do prefer this though. This is all like, everything we do is developing your own taste and your own style when you get your own feel for things. So because I don't like this tool, doesn't mean it's not a favorite tool of a lot of masons. Now, whenever we do striking, we want to do the head joints first, and then the bed joints. So go ahead, let's see. Take striking real quick. When I go to strike, I get a little bit of mortar on my trowel, and I will run this across the edge of my trowel to create a bead of mortar on the iron. Now for this head joint, I'll do this one. I'm going to press that mortar into the head joint. You see this head joint has small gaps in it. It's very important that these gaps get filled. So now that's struck, the bed joint looks okay. I pull away from the outside corners. So write that down. When striking, pull away from the outside corners. You don't want to push towards this corner. What do you think would happen if I'm pushing the mortar towards the corner? I'm going to push the mortar right out. So I'm just doing the front face. If you want to try your hand at the other side. So if there's any mortar missing, you just run the bead onto the striking iron. So here, give that a shot. You want to hold this in one hand and hold that in the other. Now it's very important that your striking iron stays extremely clean. That's a masonry tool you really need to clean off at the end of each job, at the end of like every use. Every time you're using it, if you put it up for a second, you got to clean that tool immediately right off, because that tool is going to literally create the finish that we see. Now, Jose, can you please grab a mortar brush from the top of the cabinet for me? Since you came through with the striking iron. So the next thing we're going to do, before we call this done, these two courses here. Yes, perfect. You just thought up high. Thank you, sir. We're going to take a mortar brush. We're going to brush this. Now this is a little bit too wet, but for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and just do this. You want to brush it down, and then we're going to strike it again. Most block work you see is finished with a strike, brush, strike. So we're going to strike this one more time, and then this is done. If it needs another brush, if there's any like large cliffhangers of mortar hanging off anywhere, we call those mortar boogers. We want to get the boogers off. Any questions?